You are sitting at a desk, staring at a screen, when a familiar and powerful urge strikes. It is a subtle, almost imperceptible pull to abandon the difficult task in front of you for a momentary, effortless distraction. This instinct is not a personal failing, but a profound evolutionary mismatch. Our brains were forged in harsh, unpredictable environments where immediate survival dictated our choices, making the impulse to seize instant rewards deeply ingrained in our biology. Yet, the modern world demands the exact opposite for success. How do you master a mind wired for the present when all your greatest ambitions reside in the future? The answer lies in mastering a singular, defining psychological trait that separates those who merely dream from those who systematically execute. That trait is delayed gratification, the conscious ability to resist an immediate, smaller reward in order to obtain a more enduring, significant outcome later. This is not merely a test of momentary willpower or a simple behavioral trick. It is a comprehensive framework for living, a foundational codex that rewires how you perceive time, value, and your own boundless potential. To understand the architecture of this discipline, we must look back to the late 1960s at Stanford University. Psychologist Walter Mischel designed a deceptively simple experiment that would forever alter our understanding of human potential and cognitive development. In what became known globally as the marshmallow test, young children were brought into a sparse room and offered a choice. They could eat one marshmallow immediately, or, if they waited alone for 15 minutes without eating it, they would receive a second marshmallow. This scenario was far more than a measure of childhood obedience or a simple test of patience. It was a rigorous examination of executive function, a complex set of mental skills that include working memory, flexible thinking, and self-control. Mischel was observing the raw, unfiltered battle between the primitive, impulse-driven regions of the brain and the advanced cognitive centers struggling to assert dominance. The children who succeeded did not simply possess more raw willpower. They intuitively deployed psychological strategies to distract themselves, turning their attention away from the tempting object and reframing their immediate reality. The true revelation of Mischel's work emerged decades later. As researchers tracked these same children into adulthood, a startling and undeniable pattern materialized across their lives. The individuals who had successfully waited for the second reward consistently demonstrated higher academic achievement, better psychological health, lower rates of addiction, and greater financial stability. Their early capacity to delay the reward served as a profound indicator of their future trajectory, proving that the ability to manage impulses is a critical determinant of lifelong success. The biological engine driving this capability is the prefrontal cortex, the brain's sophisticated command center for complex planning, decision-making, and moderating social behavior. When you face a temptation, this region engages in a fierce neurological tug-of-war with the limbic system, the ancient emotional core of the brain that demands immediate satisfaction. Strengthening your self-control is fundamentally about increasing the neural density and efficiency of your prefrontal pathways, allowing logic to consistently outpace raw emotion. Psychologists conceptualize this internal conflict through the mental model of the hot and cool systems. The hot system is emotional, reflexive, and incredibly fast, operating on a heuristic, which is a mental shortcut that allows for rapid, instinctual judgments without deep thought. In contrast, the cool system is cognitive, slow, and highly strategic. Mastering your impulses requires the deliberate, conscious activation of the cool system to override the automatic, fiery demands of the hot system before they dictate your actions. Consider how this dynamic plays out in your daily life, far removed from a sterile laboratory setting. Every notification on your phone, every impulse purchase, and every urge to skip a challenging workout is a modern iteration of that childhood test. The digital age is meticulously engineered by massive technology companies to hijack your hot system, offering a constant stream of micro-rewards that erode your capacity for deep, sustained focus. You are perpetually surrounded by digital marshmallows, testing your cognitive endurance at every turn. This constant bombardment, once understood, reveals a stark reality about modern achievement. Those who cannot shield their cool system from these relentless provocations will inevitably find their long-term goals derailed by short-term comforts. The sheer volume of instant gratification available today means that exceptional success requires an exceptional, almost unnatural, defense mechanism against immediate pleasure. How then do you cultivate this vital skill when the environment is actively working against you? The first and most critical strategy is environmental design. Willpower is a finite resource that depletes throughout the day, a phenomenon known as decision fatigue. Instead of relying on sheer mental force to resist temptation, you must architect your surroundings to make the right choice the default choice. If you want to focus, remove the phone from the room entirely. If you want to eat healthier, do not bring junk food into your home. By altering your physical and digital environment, you eliminate the need for the prefrontal cortex to constantly fight off the limbic system. You are essentially pre-making your decisions when your cool system is securely in control. This preemptive strike against your own future impulses is the hallmark of a highly disciplined mind, transforming a daily, exhausting struggle into an automated process of goal-oriented behavior. This modern strategy echoes the ancient tenets of Stoicism, a Hellenistic philosophy focused on personal ethics, resilience, and supreme self-mastery. The Stoics believed that true freedom is not the ability to indulge every passing desire, but the power to remain indifferent to them. They understood that being a slave to one's impulses is the most insidious form of captivity, because the jailer is your own untrained mind. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca observed, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." This ancient wisdom, applied to our contemporary struggles with distraction and indulgence, fortifies our psychological resilience. It reminds us that every time we choose the difficult, long-term path over the easy, immediate one, we are not just moving closer to a specific goal, we are actively reclaiming our cognitive sovereignty from a world designed to exploit it. Another powerful tool for cultivating this discipline is the mental model of identity-based habits. Most people attempt to change their behavior by focusing strictly on the outcome they want to achieve, such as writing a book, saving money, or losing weight. However, true, lasting behavioral transformation occurs when you shift your focus inward to the type of person you deeply wish to become. Instead of telling yourself that you are not allowed to eat a certain food or spend money on a fleeting desire, you reframe the narrative internally. You state, with conviction, that you are a person who prioritizes physical health, or a person who values financial independence. This subtle linguistic shift is profoundly effective. It moves the decision out of the realm of deprivation and into the realm of self-actualization, meaning you are no longer resisting a treat, you are actively affirming your core identity. When the urge to deviate from your long-term goals strikes with overwhelming force, employ the 10-minute rule. This is a highly tactical decision-making framework where, upon feeling a strong impulse, you commit to waiting exactly 10 minutes before acting on it. You are not telling yourself an absolute no, which often increases the psychological craving and sense of restriction. You are simply telling yourself, not right now. Exploring this micro-delay from a neurological perspective reveals exactly why it is so remarkably effective. The intense craving generated by the limbic system is acute but surprisingly short-lived. By forcing a 10-minute pause, you allow the initial, blinding surge of dopamine-driven desire to naturally subside. This brief window is often all the time your prefrontal cortex needs to come back online, assess the situation logically, and make a decision aligned with your true values. The implications of mastering these internal neurological battles extend far beyond individual productivity or personal success. On a broader scale, a society's collective capacity for delayed reward shapes its economic stability, its technological innovation, and its cultural depth. When populations prioritize immediate consumption and fleeting entertainment over long-term investment and deep thought, the foundational structures of progress inevitably begin to erode. Conversely, when you consistently choose the future over the present in your own life, the compounding effects are absolutely staggering. Financial investments grow exponentially through the mathematics of compound interest. Professional expertise deepens through years of quiet, unglamorous, deliberate practice. Deep, meaningful relationships are forged through sustained, selfless commitment over decades. The greatest, most profound rewards in life are always hidden behind a wall of sustained effort and deferred pleasure. However, a critical nuance must be addressed to prevent this philosophy from becoming a prison. Cultivating this discipline does not mean living a bleak life devoid of joy, perpetually sacrificing today for a tomorrow that never actually arrives. An extreme, unbalanced obsession with the future can lead to a rigid, anxious existence where the beautiful reality of the present moment is entirely devalued. The ultimate goal is not cold asceticism, but warm intentionality. The true mastery of this codex lies in conscious, deliberate allocation of your resources and your attention. It is about having the executive control to enjoy an immediate pleasure when it truly aligns with your values, without ever letting that impulse dictate your life's overall trajectory. You must become the deliberate architect of your desires, rather than their helpless victim, striking a delicate, dynamic balance between present contentment and fierce future ambition. To achieve this intricate balance, modern science suggests a fascinating and highly effective technique: visualizing your future self. Functional magnetic resonance imaging has shown that when people think about their future selves, the neural activity in their brain often resembles how they think about a complete stranger. This neurological disconnection makes it incredibly difficult to sacrifice present comfort for a future identity you do not feel emotionally connected to. To bridge this cognitive gap, you must actively and vividly imagine the specific person you will become. Spend dedicated time visualizing the granular details of your future life, the tangible outcomes of your current sacrifices, and the profound, quiet satisfaction of achieving your long-term goals. Write a detailed letter from the perspective of your future self, thanking your present self for the immense discipline and foresight you are exercising today. This practice binds your present actions to your future reality in a way that logic alone cannot achieve. It transforms the abstract, hazy concept of tomorrow into a tangible, emotional anchor that holds you steady against the turbulent, chaotic currents of immediate desire. By deeply connecting with the future you are meticulously building, the act of waiting ceases to feel like a punishment and becomes a profound, empowering act of self-love. The journey to self-mastery is not a brief sprint, but a lifelong, daily practice of choosing enduring purpose over fleeting pleasure. Every single time you pause, every time you resist the easy distraction, and every time you honor your long-term vision, you are physically rewriting your cognitive architecture. You hold the extraordinary power to shape your own destiny, one delayed gratification at a time. The future belongs entirely to those who have the strength, the wisdom, and the patience to wait for it.